later on. Chandra ma'am?
Yes, madam.
Ma'am, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, madam. Yes,
Uh,
madam.
uh,
Summer is in line only. We can
okay,
start.
okay, ma'am, sure. Ma'am.
Screen la.
Good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, respected faculty members, and dear participants connected globally. It is
It
an
is an
honor
honor and privilege
to
to
welcome
welcome
you
you
all
all
to the
to the
International
International
Conference
Conference
on
on
Advanced
Advanced
Computing,
Computing. I
ICAC 2024. My name is Cheryl,
and my name is Jennifer.
and we are thrilled to be your host for this prestigious event. As we embark on this journey of innovation and discovery, let us remember the words of Alan Turing. We can only see a short distance ahead, but we can see plenty there that needs to be done. This conference exemplifies our collective effort to explore that horizon and push the boundaries of what is possible. Though we gather virtually, our passion for technology and its limitless potential unites us. Over the next few days, we will hear from some of the world's foremost experts and innovators who will share groundbreaking research, insights, and ideas that have the power to shape the future of computing. We look forward to an enriching and inspiring experience together. Welcome to ICAC 2024. And now, it's our pleasure to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker for today, Mr. M. Saji Abraham, sir, Director of Operations at Schouten Europe, Bangalore, with extensive experience in global operations management, a passion for driving sustainable and ethical food production. Sir has been recognized with numerous prestigious awards, including the Directors Enterprise Award for Management Excellence from Unilever. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Saji Abraham, sir, who will share his invaluable insights on accelerating tech transformation in the AI era. Sir, the virtual stage is yours.
Greetings to you all this morning, and thank you so much for that lovely welcome. And Madam Chandra and Madam Purkudi, the members of the faculty there from the Department of Computer Science. Let me appreciate the way that you put up this conference together. And as we begin this session today, I wish all participants an enriching experience as we go through various sessions of this conference. And today we are here to deliberate upon the topic accelerating tech transformation in the AI era. Maybe I will just share a few slides with you, which might come in handy for you to see. Maybe I just try to project a PPT if I can share that. Just a second, I'll just bring in the PPT. Yeah, I'm sharing it. Can you kindly confirm if it's getting visible to you?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Saji sir, screen is visible. Please maximize it to the full screen.
Sir, share the entire screen, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir. Voice is not audible, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, audible, sir.
Audible. Okay, okay. Only thing is the window. I'm only able to share it as a window. I don't know for whatever reason it's not
No,
coming.
kindly share the whole desktop screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's the
Okay.
entire desktop screen, but then it's not actually going into the full screen mode, you know. So
Press F5, sir. Press F5. It will go to full screen mode, sir. Again, your voices are not audible, sir.
yeah, it's on now. So there is some clash, some technical clash is there. I don't know what that is. The window is not coming in fully. If I come on fully, then it mutes my audio.
Can you share your PPT through WhatsApp? We will share it from here.
Okay, maybe I can do that. Maybe, so you want me to share it through WhatsApp, is it?
Please share it to Purkudi madam. We will do the presentations parallelly. You can talk. That would be
Okay.
fine.
Let me try just once again if it works.
You have to share the whole desktop screen.
Yeah,
From
yeah,
there,
that's-
you have to click. That will give you a comfortable show.
Okay, let's try that once again. Okay, now you will be able to get the. No. Is it visible now?
Yeah.
No, it is okay, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So that helps us. Okay, so let's continue. So accelerating tech transformation in the AI era. basically is all of us, the jargon now is AI or artificial intelligence that we keep talking about. But how is the industry actually coping up to accelerate for the integration of AI into their own functions or into the academia that you are actually preparing for the industry? For which, in the next slide, that as you can see, generative AI or chat GPT is the new thing which most of us are accustomed to. And it's been active since November of 2022, and most of us are using that also, along with the launch of the large language modules, which we use in the industry. Now, presently, what we find in the global scenario is that such use of AI on platforms like ChatGPT or Meta or LLM, etc., are spread across commercially active countries. Now, the reason when I mention commercially active countries up there on the screen, there are various countries who are yet to adapt to these modules, smaller countries that you see in the globe across. The reason I mentioned that is, in an industry like ours, and we are here into production of food with a consistency across the world for large chains like McDonald's, Subway, etc., where the incorporation of AI to give a consistent product across categories, across countries, and across retail formats is a very big challenge for us to do. It's similar with an automobile producer, it's similar with a medicine manufacturer, or even for defense sectors, as you call it, and environmental sustainability. These are the major areas where we find that the incorporation of AI is very, very critical. At the same time, we cannot fall back on just a chat GPT or just a large language module. So that is where acceleration of momentum in the application of AI in the business sector is becoming very evident. So as you can see on the screen, the customers today expect a transformation, an innovation, and a disruption. If you see the recent speech of Prime Minister in the US, where he's just there yesterday and today, I mean, he talks about transformation, he talks about innovation, and the new concept of disruption in technology and disruption in product profile is an expectation from the customer that the business has to deliver. For example, if we are not able to deliver a disrupting technology to the customer is no more interested in a traditional product or a track record that is not very performance oriented. And we as customers and students and professors, as you are, you yourself go through the methodology of shopping that has changed from the old shopping from shops to coming to an e-commerce platform. And even on e-commerce platform, we're used to shopping online, but now the new trend is about ethical shopping or sustainable shopping, as they call it, even on e-commerce. We sell our products on the retail e-commerce platforms. And the challenges that we face today is that the discerning customer is so much more informed about the product, and they really would like to know the source from which the product emanates, the process it carries, to ensure that there is no blood money in it, there is no child labor in it, and things like that, which are value additions to the environment, to the society at large. So the customer expects a transformation in the way the business is done, innovation in the way the business is rendered, and disruption in the way that the business is conducted compared to what it used to be. Now, when we look at that, the verticals that various companies today are using are, one is knowledge engine platform, as you all must be having in your academic curriculum, and the digital human or the humanoid robotics, which is coming in very evidently in space exploration and also into the medical sector, and all the eKYCs, which is going to unite the global platform. With these things in place, the need for acceleration in technology is ever more evident than ever before. Now, coming to the next slide, who are the involved stakeholders in this? This is a very, very important slide, especially for students and people who are on research to note down. See, currently, there are three categories that you can see there. One is the tech leaders. Number two is the analysts. Number three is the media and the academia, like institutions like you, who are the involved stakeholders in bringing this acceleration and adapting to the need of the industry. Like, for example, as we all know, the US markets or the banking system, the economy in Europe have dropped the interest rates very recently, as recent as a week ago. One of the reasons being because of the global economic recession and the global economic effects that had happened post-COVID across the scenario. Now, from the European Union, we have a mandate which is to actually ensure that businesses are given a push to carry on. It's not like before. It is not about somebody performing well and somebody not performing well. It is a collective input where AI comes into, and the technology transformation is required, for which the key stakeholders are tech leaders or the big MNCs and people who develop such concepts, the analysts who learn data. And basically, if you look in the fourth line where I mentioned cloud plus AI, and in brackets, you can see duplication and data divide. This data divide is a very dangerous proposition that's happening in the market now. Acceleration of technology to avoid data divide. When I say data divide, I'll help you understand that. For example, you take an industry, I mean, you take my industry, which produces a particular product that is reaching the end consumer. The retail shelf, the use by the end user, and all the feedback from the end user is a set of data that does not have any involvement with the production floor. Whereas the data on the production floor for the raw materials, the ingredients, the process, the costing, etc., has nothing to do with the consumer. So these two data are essentially not integrated across business platforms. And that is giving a reason for a lot of duplication of data, which is happening. Now, most of the companies across the globe have invested in cloud platforms. But what we see is that investment in cloud platform is being wasted to at least 30%. That's what you see in the last line of that slide. A wastage of about 30% of the cloud plus. See, everybody started investing in cloud-based platforms, but the effective usage of cloud platforms has not been necessarily efficiently done because it was taken as a step to overcome the present challenges in the market rather than looking at how effectively it can be used. So what's happening is there is more of duplication of data which is there in the cloud, which is unnecessary utilization of space in the cloud. And number one. Number two, nobody knows the effect of duplication because the data is duplicated in different places and the data is divided across the spectrum. And the very purpose of accelerating tech is to understand how the duplication can be removed, how the cloud storage facilities can be utilized more effectively, and how the investment in cloud can be optimized. This is one, for which we have this group called CSIG, or the Cloud and Smart Industrial Group, which is analyzing and study. Very recently, there was a study done by Deloitte, which says that of the 30% wasted space on cloud, most of the companies who have this 30% wasted space are going to be redundant in the next 7 years, which means their business models might not exist after 7 years, for which they have to rethink their entire business model. Now, let me move to the next slide. Here, in order to rethink about this business, you have the need, an immediate need for a collaborative effect and to co-deliver. So the first four sectors which are in white on your screen, retail, gaming, banking or insurance, and healthcare, are examples where people can collaborate and things need to work together. For example, we all know that retail is a segment where products or services are sold. Gaming is a segment that's catching up in a big way where it is actually impacting retail today. Banking and insurance is essentially a part of any business for that matter. And healthcare is eventually connected with the above three. Now, when you connect these four verticals effectively, how much of a collaboration is there between retail and healthcare? How much of a collaboration is there between banking and retail, or gaming and retail, or gaming and healthcare? These are the kind of synergies that of late is actually coming out as a collaborative effect of various verticals. Whereas the other four that you see in the green color down there, the mining and management of natural resources, manufacturing sector, space exploration or defense sector, and environmental sustainability versus global security. This is another area that requires a total collaboration which is different from the normal way that we think today. Hence, a difference in thinking. For example, I'll tell you how this collaborative effect has actually helped companies like Tesla in the US. A great example is about Tesla. You know, Tesla makes these electric cars, which we all know, and it is, very well integrated through their software technology as well as the engineering prowess that they have. And it's a great product, a premium product. Now, the whole thing is Tesla had lost its effect on the mass market, or a common man could not afford that product. So Elon Musk, as we all know, as popular as he is, has come forward with a recent trend of launching a car that costs only $7,000 US. with all the resources or all the benefits of what the other cars have and an optional add-ons that you can take. Now, one of the reasons that he is portraying that he was able to bring him down is a connect between retail versus manufacturing, and a connect between the health of the industry versus environmental sustainability. These two collaborative effect was a result of an R&D within their own company, which brought in a different perspective, which brought in cost effectiveness. The product was made cheaper. The product was made available to reach the normal customer. And at $7,000, a new electric car from Tesla is cheaper than a used car in the US market, which means there is disruption. So if I go back to the earlier slide, you can see customers need to transform, to innovate, and to disrupt. Now, this is exactly what Tesla has done. And they have innovated in such a way that they brought a collaboration between the data of retail versus manufacturing, and that has disrupted the market very effectively. So this collaborative effect, the live example before us is Tesla in the market as old as 1 week ago. And another area that we need to see is examples of existing delivery of such collaboration. How many companies have done that? Is the example that I'm putting up before you. A few of the examples that you can recollect, so I've taken very simple ones. Number one is Tencent is a company who are into the development of apps and development of AI-based interfaces. They have tied up with the Abu Dhabi government's Department of Culture or Department of Tourism, as you call it, and have come down with a new product, which you see in the blue square there, called The Desert is a Green Field. So a place like Abu Dhabi, which is a desert or which is a dry area in the Arab country, has been using AI as a very developmental interface to bring in an adaptation to the data that the Department of Culture already had, and currently converting the desert into a green field. Not looking at the desert as a desert, but looking at the data that has been driven there and using that data, bridging the divide and bringing in the desert to be a place which is beyond a normal country or a place with cultivatable land. So today Abu Dhabi is in the forefront of technology using AI or disruptive AI with the support of Tencent as a company who are giving them that data. And you can check that online and see the amount of development and difference that has brought into the environmental culture in that place. So when I talk about Tencent, I'm talking about environmental sustainability and management of natural resources. As you can see, the two first and fourth of the green bullet points there. So this is another synergistic effect. Number two is about Dell and Bosch unlocking the power of AI. Now, probably unlocking the power of AI is happening across the industry. It is nothing new for any particular company. Everybody is talking about it today. So what is different in Dell and in Bosch? The difference in these two companies, they're following the Japanese concept called Ikigai. Now, Ikigai is nothing but translatable to English is purpose of life. Now, Dell, with its product range that most of us in the IT are aware of, are looking at creating a purposeful submission of a product into the hands of a customer that changes the very purpose of the outlook with which the customer or the user can use the product and bring in a disruptive change in the society. Bosch, on the other hand, is working on various engineering products, bringing in the power of AI into the products, especially the automobile sector, to see how the end user can make a disruption or change in the way that the life is run, in the way that technology is used. Now, these two companies, one is a technical company, IT-based company called Dell. Another one is an engineering firm. Both of them have come into a synergy to say, how can we deliver the purpose of life, thereby unlocking the power of AI? Now, the whole thing landed up or focused, converged onto one point, which was about collecting data from both the sources. One is from the engineering industry and their customers. Another one is from the tech industry and their customers, and bringing this data to see what are the common factors, and through which a collaborative example of adding enhanced benefit and efficiency to the customer could be delivered. And that is the beauty with which Dell and Bosch are today actually leading the industry through a different outlook of collaboration. That's the second example. The third example is about MSI, Microsoft Interface, and about the speed and security. I mean, we've all, from the inception of computer science or from the time computers came in, we were all talking about how data can be collected, how accuracy can be there, speed can be there, and technology developed, grew and grew. But today we find that as we reached areas of blockchain development, cloud computing and various other technological advancements are there, but the speed and security with which the expected deliverance of technical platforms was to be realized is lacking somewhere, leading the need for cyber security and things like that. Hacking is happening, data are being lost, people are worried about even data that is placed on the cloud. So today the very interface is a collaborative thing to see how can technology accelerate or enhance the speed and the security with which the data is being stored, and also with which the data can be studied and implemented to bring in a collaborative change. Now this is what the industry needs. Students who are actually part of this conference today, one of the key areas for you is to be drivers of change, to look at businesses differently. Don't look at business and don't look at IT or AI as a support function. IT and AI being a support function is very redundant. IT and AI has to come in together to bring in a synergistic effect, to think differently, act differently, run businesses in a different way so that the future is sustainable. In one of my following slides that are going to come, you will see that how many businesses down the line are not viable and not workable and will not exist. So we need to look at different pathways of carrying business in the globe across. AI-enabled PCs is another example that you can see there, wherein the efficiency of such PCs are changing today, and you must be quite aware of that. Now, looking at all this coming in, automation, technology, and system-driven, etc., that we see on the background, what is it culminating to eventually? When you look at it, an AI-infused harmony platform. That means AI is not just an assisting factor. AI is not just to help in making reproduction of existing data more effective just for the sake of making it easier. No. AI is a harmony between production, harmony between environment, harmony between customer interface, and you are infusing that harmony through the use of artificial intelligence, which means the data divide has to go. Number two, accelerate business transformation, which means businesses are being transformed today. It's not, you cannot run businesses the same way as you run before. E-commerce platforms were not heard of 10 years ago. So your business has to change the way e-commerce needs. Now, with the inception of e-commerce, the way people look at e-commerce is already transformed in the last 1 year, which means a customer is selective about what he or she buys. A customer has more choice and more understanding than what the e-commerce platform provides, which means the e-commerce platform has to accelerate its speed of development to the expectation of the customer. So accelerating a business transformation. Number three, you look at business as a hybrid environment. Businesses are no more of the beaten track, no more of one man's idea, no more of any, very, very, very great vision of some particular person. Businesses have to be a very hybrid environment wherein with or without a particular category, it can still survive in the market. And that's what it means. I'm now beating down complex systems into simpler ones that can be adapted easily to any environment, and elimination of data divide. Now, coming to the 3 points in red that you can see below, a business to be successful in today's world has to be future-proof. Number two, there should be no complexity at all in the way that the business is run. It should be simplified and complexity has to be minimized. Number three, it has to be driven through innovation or ideas or collaborative effect, as we saw in the earlier slide. So when it is future-proof, when it is simplified through its complexity, and when it is innovation driven, then it becomes an AI powered automation. So the definition of AI powered automation today has changed to something that is future proof, which means my business will survive in the future, come what may. Even if there is another COVID related issue or a lockdown period that comes again, my business still needs to run, and I'm future proof on that. That is the guarantee. Number two, my business is no more going to be complex with data thrown across and something on the cloud, and I don't know what's happening and everything and everywhere, and then just because somebody else is doing it, I'm doing it. That's not the way anymore. Acceleration towards the AI era is simplifying complexity, and that is the only way for survival forward. Number three is innovation driven. Innovation at any cost. The definition of innovation itself changes, as you can see in this slide now. Earlier, we used to talk about, the IT team being a support function to the business group. Right now, it is not so. If you want an empowered business team, you need the manpower as well as the technology-based AI. And as you see in the first block there, the IT team plus the business group are one entity. They're not two entities. IT is not an enabling function. IT is part of the core business group. And that is the paradigm shift in application and paradigm shift in thinking. And the three factors that you can see next to the bracket there on innovation is Productivity, efficiency, and responsiveness of the company is what is eventually called innovation. So the definition of innovation is how to increase productivity, how to increase efficiency of production, and how to improve the responsiveness to any situation or data feedback that you get. If these three are not in place, innovation will not help. So which means when I go back to my previous slide, drive innovation just means that I need to learn to be more responsive to my customer, more responsive to my internal data. And unless I'm able to pace up or gather speed to do that, I cannot deliver it. Let me come to the next slide. Now you see technology in a changing business environment. What is this changing business environment? We need to be very clear on that. See, for example, let me quote an example before I actually take you through this slide. If you can just read the red letters there. Number one, I've mentioned when you go in for technology, it is time consuming, it is expensive, and it is complicated. Remember in the earlier slide, we said we have to simplify complication, right? This slide, simplified complexity, as you can see. When you come here, it is expensive and it is complicated. And usually it does not work as per plan. Now, this is the whole hype or phobia about artificial intelligence that the market is facing right now. People think just the induction of artificial intelligence is going to change something. It is not going to change. It's just going to make things look different, feel different, but it's going to be eventually more expensive for the companies, more complicated, and usually does not work to a deadline. And that is the biggest challenge facing the industry today. And these studies done by Deloitte, these studies done by PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, and various other analysis which is coming out even through researches done from universities state that many of the businesses down the line will not survive because they would have overspent on technology, not knowing the right approach that they are taking. Therefore, you come to the first 2 points on digital transformation, as you can see on the screen. One is a business process effectiveness. How can AI and the technological changes in the business environment bring the process to be more effective? How can we do business differently? And number two, how can we use technology to avoid replication of the process? Now here I would like to quote another example from SpaceX, which is again a Elon Musk company. See, we can take a clear comparison between NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, take their data, versus SpaceX, which is a new company, very new, new entrant into space exploration. And as we all know, they're making great strides. For example, Sunita Williams is stuck in space and NASA is trying all their best to bring her back. And they're finding it too cumbersome that the person who was supposed to be there for 6 weeks and come back is already 8 months there. And the solutions are not in place. Whereas SpaceX has now come forward with a solution to that they are willing to go, connect with the International Space Station and bring them back to the planet Earth, which means, the difference then in the approach is what we need to look at when we talk about digital transformation in a changing business environment. What is the change? SpaceX as a company is not a traditional company. They're willing to throw money. They're willing to break things. They're willing to do things quickly, faster, no waiting, and just get the result going. Do I have to, manufacture and test a 10 number of rockets to do that? They're ready to do that. That money is wasted. That's why the first point in red is it's time consuming, it's expensive, and it's complicated. SpaceX was ready to face the cost, ready to face the complication, but try it out and come with a solution, and they have. Number two, a traditional company like NASA, which has been in the industry for so many years and with proven technologies, they're very careful about the exploration, very careful about the way they do things, which is an appreciated effort. But in today's world, unless you have a change of thinking, you cannot really find a solution because people are moving much ahead and things are moving much ahead of the way, and the slow pace of things is just not enough for transformation. So accelerating tech transformation in an AI era, the greatest example is SpaceX that is sending its launch vehicle to the International Space Station to bring the scientists back. And we all pray that it will work out well. But then there is a lot of money. It was expensive. It was complicated. So technology in a changing business environment is a different way of thinking than what we all thought till date. And that has to change. And this effective change is expected across business, right from a small little financial sector to an agricultural sector, to an engineering sector, academic sector, you name it, everywhere across, wherever 360 degree of your life, whether it's product or whether it's service, you need to have a transformation in digital technology, without which you will not be able to compete in the world across. And today's world's commerce totally depends on time and totally depends on being effectively implementing processes through innovation. And innovation, as I told you before, is about productivity, is about efficiency, and is about responsiveness. Now, the reason the responsiveness I've given a tick there is because that is the most important thing. There is no time to waste. There is no lethargy. Not even a second can be lost, because then you are behind somebody else. There is this world which is running heavily on competitive attitude, on innovation and technology. So let's face it, this is a real-time situation for all of us to handle. Now, coming to my next slide, what are the key areas of transformation that you as a community can provide, or you as academia from universities, colleges, and students in research and education on the subject can do? Number one is start rethinking business models. No more are the older business models effective. And we just don't want technology or software to replace a manual system. No, it's finished. You got to change the underlying tech stack. It just has to change. There is no way that you can replace it with something that a machine does. No, it has to be changed. The way the very approach or the very process or very production or very manufacture is done has to change. Number three, an innovative customer experience. The customer is expecting something new every day. And an innovative experience to give to the customer should be the focus of your efforts. And you have to indulge in it to really see that I have to give something that nobody has given. I have to be unique. I have to be different. I cannot be comparing with my competition anymore. Gone are the days when you compare with competition. Today is a day where can I have a leading edge? How can I move forward? And you have to change the organization culture. And that's what we see. See, we spoke about metaverse, we spoke about blockchain, we spoke about block computing, quantum computing, and today we're talking about various other aspects in AI as we develop. The organization culture needs to change to provide acceleration to meet the changing customer needs. And these are the key areas of transformation where you and I can bring in a change, and the industry needs this change today. So the bigger opportunity with students out there in the field of technology with the inculcation of AI is that you can bring in a change in an organization culture by changing the underlying tech stack of that organization. So think differently and start being innovative and apply yourself in areas that people have never thought about before. You know, in English, there's a beautiful saying. It goes like this. If you want to note it down, you can note it down. It's such a beautiful caption. What your mind does not know, your eyes cannot see. Let me repeat it. What your mind does not know, your eyes cannot see. But today's situation is such that you have to be able to see even what you don't know. And that is the challenge in the market today. You cannot say, oh, I didn't know that, I didn't expect that. That means you're becoming a failure down the line. You're becoming redundant. Somebody is outsmarting you every minute. So if you're going to go by the fact that what my mind did not know, I cannot see, that means you are unfit for the world that is changing. We have to foresee things even before they can happen. You have to look at what is required 10 years down the line ahead. And I need to start working on that technological interface today. And that in the next 7 years, 7 to 8 years, they will be out of the industry. So they have to rethink differently. Generative AI is of increased concern. And I want each of you to look at that point there in the center, in the middle. Generative AI is nice to talk about. It's beautiful to hear. It's good to learn, but it is becoming too much of a concern on the industry because it's more of a hype. And that's why the third point, we need to move beyond that hype. It cannot just be jargons and it cannot just be things that we talk about. It needs to be implementation of removal of data divide, removal of duplication, innovative trends, collaborative trends. And these are the things that have to come. Stop the hype, cut it out. This generative AI might be of no use to us if we're only going to be talking about it and making lectures about it. There needs to be implementation on the floor with foresightedness. And that is the way businesses need to be rethought of. Example of Microsoft, as you can see, as I put up there, from a shelf-based, you used to get the software on CDs or DVDs to a cloud-based subscription. And today they're even moving further with AI-enabled PCs where even the software that you download need not be downloaded from the cloud. I mean, the AI-enabled PC is capable of interfacing with Microsoft servers, and even without any physical download, your laptop is capable of connecting to the core server and giving you the desired result. Number two, Netflix, who used to be on the DVD models, which are no more it is redundant now with streaming online. And even Netflix is moving further to having, a cloud-based atmosphere where you have an online generation of whatever movies or documentaries that you want to see. Things are changing and you have to be beyond capacity. Using tech to change these inefficient systems should be the core. I think using tech to change inefficient systems is a project by itself. Most of this is, if you look at the last block there, using tech to change inefficient systems, and compare it to the first block of 45% CEOs feeling that business modules are not viable, this is the most area where you have a potential for future scope. Ideas are required. I mean, people need to think differently. Using AI, bring in change the culture of the organization and start working effectively. Now, on this slide, we are looking at the changing face of technology with AI. How can that be happening? See, online learning methodology is no more connected to a classroom session or a lecture or nothing like that. See, online learning methodology is happening within companies, in factories, in production centers, where people are able to see, feel, understand, and you use augmented reality to actually provide a real feel of a 3D experience of a product or of a concept. So online learning methodology is a changing phase with AI, and there is a great scope and potential there. E-commerce channels to become more ethical and to become more sustainable. Not anybody can sell anything online. It's not a dump yard or a garbage dump out there. It is something that needs to be ethical and sustainable, for which AI interface tools can help cull out the unnecessary ones. That's why we find so many fraudulent things in the online e-commerce market today. That's why we feel, quality is of substandard than the one that you get to see or what was projected to you. Now, ethical and sustainable standards will bring in a big change on the e-commerce channels. Number 3, new business models have to be developed which are future-proof. That means, the previous slide, the CEO said that the present models are not viable for long, which means their businesses won't exist. So point number 3, new business models are required for these CEOs and for these MNCs so that in future they can sustain and survive. And IT, this is a very important point, the 4th point, IT is no more a support function. Please leave that impression out of your mind. And that is my humble request to you. IT is no more a support function for functions like sales and finance, and then say, I have the data and, I can project something and I have my MIS with me and, we have the data of the last so many years and we can make graphs out of it and we can project various findings out of it. No more is IT into that sector. That is post-mortem. Today, you have to be ahead of what is happening. So IT is now a crucial factor, or technology is a crucial factor, as you can see in the last point, for a long-term success. It is a very, very critical or a crucial ingredient. So my dear fellow students, professors, and academicians who are out there, technology with the integration of AI today is a crucial ingredient in every single vertical of business, production, manufacture, government, defense, whatever you call it. But the primary role is, what role do I play in accelerating this technology to ensure that the future is foolproof is your role. Either whether you belong to an organization or you are looking forward to working with an organization, what is the primary focus with which you are approaching the world today is what makes you an ingredient in the part of the growth of the sustainable or programmable business trend forward. And things are changing. It's absolutely changing. The customers become more discerning than ever before. And the key highlights for today is people take a cloud-first approach with 100% of their data on the cloud. It's fantastic. It's very nice. But please look at how much of a cloud resources are wasted, and that needs to be rectified, optimized, and corrected. Number 1. Number 2, AI and machine learning needs to be augmented in order to connect with the technology that is required by the business. We are not here to duplicate something that's already there. We are here to create something new for the business. Elimination of data divide, which enhances customer experience and decision making. So let the data not be divided. A customer has a different data, somebody else in the production has a different data. Now these two needs to be integrated as per the examples that we saw. Number 4, automation with AI, avoiding repetitive work and repetitive process with procedures and collaborative work. So all that you see in red on this slide, the cloud, the augmentation, the avoiding of data divide, collaborative work, and enhanced protocol are the approaches and the areas that somebody can outshine the competition today. And that's the reason I've put it up there. Now, what is the sustainable model? This is probably my second last slide. What is the sustainable model for the future? You know, we all said for the industrial revolution, the steam engine was the greatest innovation from which the industrial revolution started. So once they invented the steam engine, transportation became cheaper and industry started growing, and transportation became easier, and all those things happened. The same thing is happening currently. If you observe, number one, with ChatGPT that you and I use, Microsoft Copilot is another beautiful example. Google Gemini is another beautiful platform where we see that happening. And Apple Intelligence, as we all know, is available in the market today. These four are examples that I have utilized of seeing how there is an industrial change in technology with the incorporation of artificial intelligence. What is your role in that? And how much of an input can you provide into that depends on how differently you can think and how effectively you can think of contributing. Don't look at somebody and try to copy that somebody. That is no more workable solution in this world. You have to be that unique self, uniquely different. My company has to be unique. My approach has to be unique. I have to be above the competition. I cannot be wasting time looking at the competition. This is the role of a CEO. Together, let's make advanced progress for accelerating the tech information for a sustainable business environment. And the attention to the key areas that you can give us. Creative thinking, or I add the word design there, creative design thinking of what the industry needs today. Have an adaptive approach to change the way that you think, to provide what the customer requires out there. Have an industry-friendly collaboration through bringing in your technical knowledge, AI, and the industry's requirement together. And above all, have an edge above competition and no more work on comparativeness with the industry or other people. Competition does not help today. When I close, I would like to close with a good example. In India today, if you go and just check on the news or on the website, there are unsold cars in the industry. Hyundai, Maruti, Honda, Toyota, name it. They're unable to sell the stock of cars. And they're giving you discounts. The reason is everybody is working against competition. There is no more time for that. You need to have a leading edge. You cannot be a comparative person. You have to be an edge above the competition like Tesla did with their $7,000 car. So a disruption in the industry is too late already. And it's time that we in the field of technology work towards that. So that gives us an outline. With that, I'm actually stopping my slideshow and then come back to give you an outline to see how best we can actually accelerate this whole thing, how best we can actually take this whole thing forward and see that technology, if applied properly with the right perspective, and if you can collaborate and think out of the box, you will be the one that makes a difference. Now, today, in my industry, I close with this example. We've started something disruptive in retail, something disruptive in the global scenario that McDonald's, Subway, IKEA Furniture, and various other restaurants across the globe, the airlines across the globe have started adapting to that particular model, which is way beyond what competition was thinking. And now I need to think about what am I going to do 5 years ahead? In 2029, 2030, what will be my technology? What will be my product profile? What will be my portfolio? If I don't spend time of that today, I'm a big failure in 2029. And that's the approach that each of us need to have. So with that, accelerating technology, transformation in the AI era, I wish all of you out there who are participating a great approach to that, an integrated approach. Think out of the box, think differently. Don't try to be somebody else. Be that unique person that you can be, and the industry needs you. So with this, I wish you all the best. And I know it's been a lovely time to share these points with you and experiences with you. If there's anybody that needs any additional clarification, I'm always willing to share and help with you. And above all, I would like to thank Dr. Chandra for this beautiful opportunity and such an experience to share with students. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Excellent
virtual floor is
presentation,
now.
Saji sir. Thank
Sorry,
you.
madam?
Excellent presentation.
Thank you so much.
Jennifer, proceed, Jennifer. If any
Yes,
queries
ma'am.
now, you can clarify.
Yeah, I will share the PPT with the Dr. Porkudi, and then you can use it if you need, if the students need it as well.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. If any queries, please, now you can
Yes,
raise.
please. Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
And this is Pankaj Valli.
Yes.
And so your delivery regarding connecting various industries and current market scenario was quite useful for us. Thank you for your great session. And I have one question. Being in academic field as a teacher, so to meet out this area, what sort of things can we take up to the current students?
Informative, sir.
Madam, could you come back? There's some crosstalk. Can you just repeat the last part of your question?
Yeah. So being in the academic side,
Yeah.
to meet up this AI era, so
Yeah.
what sort of inputs can we give to our students? As you said, it's one
Yes,
about the
yes.
design thinking, and apart from it, what all the things at the
Yes,
basic level
madam,
can we give to the
very,
students?
very important thing in the market today is the data divide. As you would have heard me repeat many times, data divide, data divide. Now, this is something that's very much concerning in the corporate boardrooms, because I sit as a part of the European Union representing various global corporations. And the concern of every CEO is our data is not enough. We are not getting enough input from the data that we already have. The data is not analyzed properly. So if you remember the first slide I put, I said media, academia, the analysts, and the technical people, right? So what your students need to take is, how can the data which they have but is actually not being useful to them be integrated to provide a unique picture that is already there but is not readable? The companies have the data. For example, I'll tell you, you take an ice cream company. He will say, I have 10 flavors: strawberry, ice cream, mango, whatever you call the flavors. And he can tell you from his data whether mango is selling more, or vanilla is selling more, or chocolate is selling more, which state is selling. Is it Karnataka, Andhra, Tamil Nadu? All that stories they can tell. But in the production, they have another data which says, I'm producing so much of chocolate, so much of vanilla, so much of mango. And these two data are not connected except through a sales division that tells them, I need so much for Kerala, I need so much for Andhra. Other than that, the data is not helping that industry. So where we need to look at, or where students can focus on, is to see how can production and sales be collaborated with the data that we already have to ensure that we are able to cater to the market, to the season, to the discerning customer. So, madam, design thinking is one. Number two is the avoidance of data divide. That is a very, very, very crucial area that is not being addressed, but the industry is facing major problems because of that, and a very high price is paid due to losses in businesses which are becoming redundant because the data is not understood. So AI can help enhance that, and that may be a key area that students can work on. Thank you for that lovely question. Yes, Madam Porkodi, is there any more questions?
Any clarification from sir? Please raise your questions.
Yeah, Madam, have I answered your question? I hope I have.
What are you looking at 5 years from now? How the industry will look as a part of AI? Is it, we know the RAG model and the LLMs from 22 are the talk of the day. Yeah. And most of the industry are, maybe you also are trying to adapt conversational AI as a part of, customer experience. Yeah. So my question to you is, in the fast moving of, RAG was a trend, and now they're talking about RIG, interleaved, models and other set of. So how fast, how adaptive should from the academica side we need to focus, as well as how do we adapt, because the future is like today is gone, meaning today is seems to be more history than tomorrow, right? So how do we catch up with the pace? How do we predict what would come in, and think out of the box and try to be there? Always early birds get more worms. Yeah. So having said that, so how do we run the race in this scenario?
Yeah, thank you. So that's a very, very beautiful question that you're asking. I think you're a person who thinks ahead, and I can see that from your question. See, one of the points that I had very recently discussed in one of the core group meetings of a company was, we all talk about yesterday was history, but today we reach the stage where tomorrow is history. Unless you look at tomorrow as history, you can never catch up with that pace. So what is going to happen tomorrow itself? I am late. Okay, so I'm just waiting. For example, let's say we are waiting for Japan to give us a technology, waiting for the US or the Europe to give us a technology, or China to come out with a technology, and then say, oh, this is beautiful, this is amazing. But that amazing and beautiful thing is already there in your mind, just that it is not being executed because you're not looking out for it, just because you can't see it because it's not in your mind. That's the caption I told you. What your mind does not know, your eyes cannot see. And we are so used to that traditional system of thinking of only what we know, what we see, and what is written about. What about looking at something that's not written? Tomorrow is not written. Tomorrow is not there. And I need to be ready to think beyond my tomorrow. So only if my tomorrow is history can my day after tomorrow be my reality. That is the pace with which we need to work on technology today. And AI is such a beautiful tool. I tell you, that's one of the points I mentioned was there is so much of a hype about generative AI than the real implementation. So the pace at which we need to work is throw that hype away and go beyond the hype and start implementing. That's the call today, sir. Basically being ahead of the industrial trend, ahead of competition, even before, like you said, the early bird gets all the worms. The worms are there, but I got to know which worm is there on which day waiting for me. What is my plan to land there to pick up that worm, That's the way the competition is. Now, for example, I cannot sit in my office relaxing even for a minute today. I have to be so innovative that I'm ahead of the competition. I have no time to see what the competition is doing because I don't have time to do what I have to do. So I better get going. And that drive is so beautiful. It's such a powerful thing. And with the integration of AI into that, I think there is no boundaries. We can really go ahead. So as academicians, I think you can actually inculcate in students a culture of urgency, a culture of looking beyond what they really know or can see, and start living in a world, dreaming in an imaginary world of the superlative. That is the only way that we can look at survival today. Thank you so much for that lovely question as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for that insightful and thought-provoking session. Your expertise on the transformative power of AI has truly inspired us. It's evident that technology is not just transforming industries, but also the way we approach challenges and innovation. We are excited to kick off the paper presentation session, where researchers from around the world will showcase their cutting-edge work in advanced computing. These presentations are a key highlight of our conference, offering a deep dive into innovative ideas and pioneering solutions that are shaping the future of technology. Immediately after the paper presentations, we will transition to the inaugural ceremony at 2:30 p.m. This special segment will formally open ICAC 2024, featuring inspiring addresses from esteemed leaders in the field and setting the stage for the dynamic discussions and collaborations that will follow throughout the event. I invite you all to join in the inaugural ceremony after the paper presentation. We look forward to the grand inauguration of ICAC 2024. We now move to the first set of paper presentation tracks, where talented researchers will present their pioneering work in various areas of advanced computing. Please proceed to the designation presentation slots that has been sent in the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Madam Porkadi. Your voice is breaking, so couldn't hear, but thank you so much.
It's due to some network problem, it seems, sir. Thank you very much,
That's okay.
sir. It was very excellent,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. Wonderful to be there, and I'll share the PPT with you as well. Yeah? Thank you.
Okay, sir. Chandra ma'am, shall we wind up the session, ma'am?